A new Spirit Squad head coach was recently named after their cheerleading coach was fired last semester.
Plus, we're looking at why study abroad options may become more affordable.
And we'll tell you why Jack Hanna brought the zoo to campus.
All that and more coming up right now.
And
I'm Alice Buckeye. You're watching Buckeye News Now.
Ben Schreiber has been named head coach of Ohio State's Spirit Squad. Schreiber cheered for the Buckeyes from 2004 to 2007 and went on to spend the last 5 years as head cheerleading coach and fitness coordinator at the University of Delaware. This follows a sexual harassment investigation of 2 former assistant coaches of the Spirit Squad, which led to the termination of former head coach Lene Buckman on November 25th.
We're bringing you another update in the mumps outbreak. The Central Ohio outbreak now includes 163 cases as of April 9th in Franklin and Delaware counties. 103 of these patients were linked to Ohio State, and of the Ohio State patients, 80 were students and 9 were staff members.
For students who want to travel off campus and spend a semester abroad, that option may become more affordable. Alice Buckeye tells us why.
The Board of Trustees voted last week to waive a tuition cost for students using third-party study abroad programs. These are programs not directly affiliated with the university, so students will not have to pay the Ohio State tuition along with the tuition for the university abroad.
And we had, I think, about 150 students who did this type of program last year, and I'm hoping that more will be able to now because it will be much more financially feasible.
If the proposed waive fee is approved by the Ohio Board of Regents, students will receive other benefits of being affiliated with the university for study abroad programs.
So by keeping students enrolled here, but not having to pay tuition here, they'll be earning graded Ohio State credit as determined by the academic units, and will have much easier access to their financial aid. And they'll be in our emergency database, we'll know they're there, all of that kind of thing.
As Ohio State increases its global outreach, there is a new balance forming between a land-grant and global university. In a meeting with the Lantern Media Group on April 1st, Provost and Executive Vice President Joseph Steinmetz commented on the importance of bringing diversity to campus.
I think that there is a reason for going outside and recruiting students from outside of the country as well as other states. And that is to make Ohio better by actually bringing those people into Ohio and having them stay here. So part of the issue is they're really talented people that come to Ohio State from all over the country and from around the world.
Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Alice Buckeye. An apartment caught fire earlier this week close to the corner of Norwich and High Street. According to fire officials, the fire was due to a kerosene lamp that was accidentally knocked over. All of the residents of the building made it out safely, but one man reported smoke-related troubles. The fire started at about 1:45 a.m. and was extinguished within 10 minutes of the fire crew's arrival.
Mirror Lake may be getting a vintage new look. The lake was drained late last year as part of a study to determine whether OSU could supply the lake from groundwater. Along with the environmental study, the goal is to give the lake a makeover. There are 3 design concepts being explored, including one that's a throwback to the late 1800s.
An urban design, one was a park-like setting design, and one was the historic design. My vision is really, I think, partly in agreement with what everybody else felt, and they love the historic design. They love the notion of going back in time to a different lake outline. If we were to implement the full design, that would take probably half a year to rebuild.
Institutions of higher learning, such as Ohio State, face a number of pressing challenges. A student forum on higher education with Executive Vice President and Provost Joseph Steinmetz was held earlier this week in order to educate students on these issues.
First, there's a mounting pressure to make a college education more affordable to all. This is obvious. Second, there's an increased expectation to improve access to higher education for more students. Thirdly, there's an unprecedented level of scrutiny that's going on by the world outside of higher education. And this, among other things, has led to more calls for accountability for us that are engaged in higher education. And fourth, we can't lose sight of the fact that Ohio State, like some of our other peer institutions, are research institutions. We're not solely a teaching institution.
Team Buckeye hosted popsicles in Pelotonia earlier this week. Students were given the opportunity to gather outside of the RPAC and learn what they can do to get involved with Team Buckeye. Khalid Mahalam rolled over to the RPAC in this story.
Team Buckeye is outside the RPAC this afternoon handing out popsicles to remind people of Pelotonia. It's the largest bike ride in the country, and it's all for one reason: to end cancer.
We're out today getting students excited about Team Buckeye, getting them energized and hopefully getting some new riders. We definitely got a few today. We're handing out popsicles for Pelotonia, so I thought it was just kind of a fun way to get students excited about cancer research.
Ohio State's Super Peloton Team Buckeye, made up of faculty, staff, students, and alumni, will be taking part fundraising as they ride bikes in Peloton this August.
So this will be the 6th year for Pelotonia, and so far we've raised $62 million, so it's really exciting.
Team member Katie Tomaszewski rides in Pelotonia for personal reasons.
I'm involved in Team Buckeye because I was affected personally by cancer. My father passed away from cancer just last year, and that's how I got involved in Pelotonia, because he was treated here at the James and actually underwent a lot of clinical trials, which this research funds. So we got involved that way, and my mom rode, and then last year I rode 180 miles.
The money that's being raised is saving lives, and it's making a huge impact, not on just Columbus in Ohio, but really the entire world. The research that's being done is amazing. It's drug development, really investing in the next generation of researchers, getting these young minds they're forming them and getting them in the labs, and really they're what's going to find a cure.
Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Khalid Mahalam.
Chip got a little crazy this weekend, but not as crazy as it usually does, and we'll tell you why.
Plus, the Oval becomes a grazing ground.
Stay with us.
Welcome back. Party-seeking students made their way down to Chittenden Avenue earlier this week to attend the street-wide block party Chit Show. This block party was more tame than parties in years past, and according to OSU police, no arrests were made.
A good crazy, you know what I'm saying? A good crazy. A good crazy. Like, everybody's having a good time, not getting maced.
Commencement week is packed with many activities, but some lucky students will have a chance to win exclusive Ohio State tours. Ariana Bernard has more on how graduating students can get a bird's eye view of campus.
Graduating seniors can take their luck to new heights with the chance to win an aerial helicopter tour.
The helicopter tour takes place from the OSU airport, and it's a tour of OSU in the Columbus area, so that's pretty cool. And there are going to be 10 winners that each can bring 2 guests on their helicopter ride.
Students can also enter to win tours of the Woody Hayes Athletic Facility, the President's Office, and the Orton Bell Tower.
The tours are all going to take place on Thursday, May 1st. They're at various times throughout the day, and the winners will be notified of what time their tour is going to take place.
Students have until April 21st to enter to win a tour and can do so at commencementweek.osu.edu.
There's a tab on there that says Win a Helicopter Tour of OSU, and you can enter one time, but if you submit a picture, you can enter up to 4 more times.
Pictures submitted by students of their experience at Ohio State will appear on a slideshow at the candlelight ceremony.
The candlelight ceremony, that's probably the biggest event. It's just a chance for students to reflect on their time at Ohio State, and it's the night before graduation. There's a candlelight rendition of Carmen, Ohio, so that's really cool. We also have the Time and Change tailgate, which is Friday right after graduation rehearsal. So you can get a free mug there. I think there's some other giveaways, and then food.
Winners of the tours will be selected randomly on April 23rd and will be notified the same day. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Ariana Bernard.
Got milk? The Oval turned into a grazing field this week as the Buckeye Dairy Club brought a cow to campus to interact with students.
So today the Buckeye Dairy Club is partnering with the Agricultural Communicators of Tomorrow. We're student organizations on campus, and we brought a cow to the Oval from Milk a Cow on the Oval to kind of educate students about agriculture and the dairy industry, and just to provide a nice break for classes. Yeah, so right now any student can sit down on the bale of hay next to her, milk her, learn a little bit about her, pet her. There's been lots of pictures taken, lots of selfies, so just pretty much interact with her in general.
George Takei was recently named as this year's Grand Marshal for the Columbus Pride Parade. Takei is known for his role in the Star Trek series, as well as an activist for gay rights. The Columbus Pride Parade is set to take place this summer on June 21st and will march along High Street from downtown to Columbus to Goodale Park.
Columbus Zoo and Aquarium Director Jack Hanna came to Ohio State to talk about sustainability. Hanna was the featured speaker at the Earth Day-related Environmental Professional Network breakfast. The breakfasts are held monthly to discuss areas of interest for environmental professionals throughout Central Ohio region.
But the overpopulation is the number one problem in the world today. You can sit and argue about it all you want to, but Jack Hanna has witnessed it. I witnessed kids starving, dying in my arms. I witnessed people that don't have wood. I witnessed people that don't have water. I have a little home in Rwanda, a little small place there. I went there after the genocide. A lot of you, most of you, all of you are adults in here. You know what happened in the genocide, right? Where 1 million people lost their lives in less than 90 days, not by guns, but by machetes. It's amazing what the world can do.
Our Buckeye TV meteorologist joins us now with your 5-day weather forecast.
Mackenzie, it looks like warmer weather is finally here, but what can we expect in the coming days?
Thanks, Alex. We finally saw that warm-up that we've all been waiting for this week, and it looks like that nice weather is going to continue on into the weekend. But for today, we can see some rain starting off the morning, a temperature of 55. Those showers will continue on to the afternoon, the possibility of a thunderstorm, temperature around 59 degrees, and then heading on into the evening hours, that will drop down to 58 degrees, but those showers still continuing on. Looking at our national radar, we can see that rain band as it comes through our area, and we can see that continuing throughout the day today, and also possibly the start of next week. But as we take a look at our surface map, you can see that rain band even more clearly laid out by this cold front. So that's what's bringing in the cooler temperatures and also that precipitation. Friday night, we're looking at a low of 43 degrees, scattered showers, winds are calm. And then for tomorrow, we have the big spring game. It's going to be a nice day for football, a high of 66 degrees, mostly sunny skies, calm winds also. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Saturday, a low of 51. Sunday, getting up to 70 degrees and a low of 54 under mostly cloudy skies. Monday and Tuesday, we see some rain showers coming into our area. Monday, a high of 59, low of 35. And then on Tuesday, a high of 48, low of 37. On Wednesday, we can see some increasing cloud coverage with mostly cloudy skies, a high of 54 and a low of 35. I'm meteorologist Mackenzie Bart, and that's your Buckeye News Now weather update. Back to you guys in the studio.
When we come back, we'll be joined by our sports director, Franz Ross.
He has our full campus sports report, plus more on spring football and the most recent athlete to come out of the closet. Welcome back. We're now joined by our sports director, Franz Ross.
Thanks for joining us, Franz.
Thanks for having me, Alex. A number of Buckeye teams were on the road last week as baseball went to Lincoln, softball to Ann Arbor, and tennis journeyed to Madison and Minneapolis. Here to break it all down is our sports reporter, Jordan Elwood.
In baseball, Nebraska swept the weekend series against Ohio State by a total of 3 runs in 3 games. The Buckeyes led in each game, but couldn't get it done late in the innings. 2 of the losses were walk-offs. Coming off the tough losses, Ohio State returned home and defeated Eastern Michigan 8-1. Freshman Zach Farmer pitched a career-high 7 innings during the game. He now has a .84 ERA. Ohio State couldn't hold their home momentum and lost to in-state opponent Dayton this week 8-5. The Buckeyes started pitcher Trace Dempsey against the Flyers and weren't able to get a solid start. Dayton got 200 runs off Dempsey in the first inning. The Buckeyes have a weekend series at home against Penn State. In women's softball, the Buckeyes lost the weekend series to Michigan, dropping the first game against the number 5 ranked Wolverines 1-0. Michigan's only run came in the top of the first inning. In the second game, the Buckeyes held Michigan scoreless in the first 3 innings, but gave up 3 runs in the fourth and 7 in the fifth to ultimately lose 10-0. In the final game of the series, the Buckeyes managed to get a run, but couldn't get more than that, losing 9-1. The Buckeyes brought their play back home for games against Ohio University and swept the doubleheader. In the first game, junior Olivia O'Reilly pitched a complete game shutout in the 6-0 win. The second game win came more suspenseful in extra innings as the Buckeyes beat the Bobcats in the 8th inning 10-9. Senior Evelyn Correa was able to help the Buckeyes in the game as she hit a grand slam with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th to tie the game. The Buckeyes will host Purdue this weekend. After earning an NCAA record for most consecutive home wins, the Ohio State men's tennis team was able to defeat in-conference opponents Minnesota 5-2. But as the Buckeyes travel to Lexington to take on Kentucky, their streak of wins ended as the Wildcats beat the Buckeyes 4-1. They take on Tulsa and Purdue this weekend. The football team held their annual Student Appreciation Day last week. Nearly 2,500 students attended to watch practice, see the fastest student semifinals race, and take pictures with the players and coaches. The Buckeyes will play their spring game this Saturday in the Shoe after the Ohio State men's lacrosse team faces Michigan at 11 a.m. For all your spring sports news, make sure to like Buckeye TV on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Jordan Elwood.
As the football team readies themselves for their spring game, Coach Urban Meyer had some things to say regarding the team's progress this spring and also previewed the team's showcase on Saturday after men's lacrosse.
The guys that are in the rotation already are Curtis Samuel. I don't want to say that's shocking, but especially at tailback, because I thought he'd be more of a wide receiver / guy, and I think eventually he might, but he's legitimate running the ball. Had another good day today. Raekwon McMillan's officially in the mix. Both those two kids, unless there's something unforeseen happen, they'll both play. The kicker actually hit a long one. I hope it's 106,000. I don't think it probably will be, but I'd love to see a great crowd out there because we appreciate that. We try to do that with the students. We're going to have some fun at the thing, but I want to see our wide receivers. I want to see we'll throw the ball a lot, and I want to see who can stand up and go make a play in front of the crowd. And I've had players that are really fast, really athletic, and have great skill that just can't get it done when the lights are on. And then I have had others that's when it's their time. So that's what I get a lot of evaluation, we'll grade the tape, and I want to see who's going to make plays.
Months after Michael Sam, a former football player at the University of Missouri, became the first openly gay Division I college football player, another athlete has come out as well. Derek Gordon, a basketball player at the University of Massachusetts, announced in an interview with ESPN that he is gay, making him the first openly gay Division I college basketball player. As a sophomore for UMass last season, Gordon averaged 9.4 points and 3.5 rebounds per game, all the while starting for the Minutemen. Junior guard said that coming out was a rough process, but that he was inspired by Sam as well as NBA player Jason Collins to announce his homosexuality publicly.
That's all we have for you this week on Buckeye News Now.
Remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Thanks for watching.